In this video, we're going to talk about adding a new post to your blog. Now, there's actually several ways in which you can accomplish this. One is right on your dashboard. Now, this only holds true if you haven't gone hog wild and started customizing your dashboard, in which case in the top right corner, you're going to have this guy right here, Quick Press, where you can simply put your title to your post, you can put the content of your post, the keywords or the tags to your post, and publish away, and you're good to go. And you can also save it for later to come back and edit it or publish it later. You can also add certain medium to your content, be it an image or video or audio. So this is just one way in which you can add a quick post, thus the name Quick Press, to your blog. Now, and if you do not use this because you want to put a little more thought into your blog post, well, you can always just hit the down arrow and move this guy on out of the way. Click, hold, and drag it on down. And this here gives you, again, at a glance, how many posts you have currently, one comment on that post, how many pages you have, and categories and so on. Some nice cool stuff to go with right here, give you an idea as to what you're doing. And you can also click on here, which we're going to do in a second. Also up at the top here, this will actually navigate you to the same spot that this will. But if you hit that arrow or just hover over it, it'll show you some additional options here as well. Drafts, new page, upload, comments. So if we come on over here, click on Post. That'll open up our post section where we can edit the post, we can add new, and give us a little bit more information on the current posts that we have on our blog. When they were published, how many comments, if there's any tags, and frankly there should be, the categories that it's in, the author in case there's more than one user to your blog, and some more information regarding that particular post where you can edit it, quick edit it, you can view it, or you can just send it to the trash bin. Now this is just like the delete button from old days, except for this one is a little safer, because if you trash it, as you can see right here, you can always click on this link here. It will open up and allow you to reinstate those items that you had maybe inadvertently trashed earlier because you were mad at the article you wrote, or you just accidentally hit the wrong button, whatever the case. Whereas in the past, you hit delete, it's gone, no more, that's it, done. Redo it if you wanted to. So we come on over here to add new post. Now this is just like most any other type of WYSIWYG type editor, whether it's HTML editor or a text editor. You have a couple of options up here. One, the HTML editor, where you can just simply add source code type stuff. So for example, if you were using Composer or Dreamweaver or FrontPage to create a web page content, well, you can take that same content, only the source code of that content, maintaining the images and the formatting and the font style and color and all that kind of good stuff. Just get the source code from that, come on over here, open up the HTML tab, paste it in here, and then once you've titled it and done all the other stuff we're going to cover here in a second, then that post will maintain the same formatting structure that you had on your Dreamweaver or Composer or FrontPage preview section. So it'll look the same, provided of course the space is the same. But that's the HTML tab. Now also, if you're going to be entering any type of code, like for embedding in a video or some other kind of like a pop-up or something like that, then you want to do so in the HTML section, not the visual. You do it in the visual, you're going to find it's not going to work. So if you find that to be the case, then just come on back and put it in the HTML and all will be right with the world. Now, and under visual, click on that. Let me move this out some because we won't need this column for a little bit, so I'll get this out of view so we can see more of our workspace here. But right here, this is called the kitchen sink tab, and this is usually how it comes out whenever you first open up your blog the first time. So you can see you've got several options to work with right here, but if you click on this, it'll simply add to those options. And if you're familiar with this, then it's the same as it is with most any other editor, be it on a WYSIWYG type editor like your Composers or FrontPages or Dreamweavers or Microsoft Word or any other kind of a Word document type setup. You can bold the text, you can italicize it, you can put some bullet points in there, you can add a block quote, align it left, right, and center. If you're going to be copying from a Word document, then you want to use this tab and then simply copy from that Word document to maintain all the formatting you've got there, and then paste it in here by using these shortcut keys from your keyboard. That is, you hold the Control key down on your keyboard, that's one of the lower left corner of your keyboard or the lower right section of your keyboard section, and then while holding that keyboard key down, you hit the letter V as in Victor, and that will paste that Word document in here. That's how that works. Also, let me go ahead and add some content in here as well as the title. You want to try ideally to have keywords within both the title and the content pertaining to your blog niche, if at all possible. And that's just going to make the search engine gods that much happier, which they will in turn reward you by multiple numbers of traffic, and all kinds of good stuff will come your way as a result. So you want to try to consider keywords in your title and the content, if at all possible. I went ahead and added some text in here, and I wanted to show you too that as far as the formatting, it's pretty much personal preference, and you can always come back and edit this if you don't like the way that it looks after you've published it, and we'll get to this here in just a second. But for example, what I like to do is have the title of the blog post be the same as the header down here in the actual content section. And I know some folks think that's just redundant, but that's just how I roll. So anyway, I always make this a header 2 and center it. You can also add different font colors to it if you'd like for it to really pop and stand out. And once you've got this done, I also want to mention too that you can change the title up here by simply clicking on edit, because your title up here is part of the URL. As you can see right here, this is the main domain, this is the category, and this is the title of your blog. But let's say that's a little bit overkill. You just want dog training. So what you can do is just click on edit. Click on OK. And now this is your URL, which will get to this particular blog post. So that's just one of the cool things about this, that you have that kind of customizing power at your fingertips just by clicking on the edit button here. And the category is chosen for you over here. By default, this is the category that was chosen because that's the default category. So if you want to choose this one instead, then we'll go and select this one, because right now it's Twitter marketing. You can see right here. And this is based upon the permalink structure, which was chosen for us by the one plugin we had installed, the Jeff Johnson's traffic getting free SEO plugin, which did, I don't know, 70 or 80 different tweaks to our blog to make it SEO friendly. So that was cool. Otherwise, this would be some kind of a question mark and equal sign and pretty ugly URL. But anyway, that's that. Now, once you've got your blog pretty much set, and again, we didn't even touch on hardly any of these here, but you get the idea that this is pretty similar to most any other type of HTML editor or Word document type editor. Play around with this, and the more you use this, the more you're going to get accustomed to it. You can use these up here to add images and videos and such. Once you've got this the way you want it, you come on over here and you can publish it immediately by clicking on this. And if you want to come back later to edit this and you don't want the world to see it just yet, you save it as a draft. And then if you want to see how it looks as a draft once it's saved, you can click on preview. And if you want to come back later and edit it, well, then you just select that. Now, as far as visibility, right now by default it's set for the whole world to see it. If you want to change that, you can change it to password protect or private. Now, the difference between these two is private. Nobody's going to see this except for the admin, that being you, and anybody else that you've given rights to. Usually those that are part of the blog family or blog community that have logged in and signed up and so on. Password protected, however, the whole world will still be able to see it, just they won't be able to see the actual content. They'll be able to see that it exists and the title, but they won't be able to see the actual content until they enter the proper password. And once you've made your choices here, you select OK. Oh, and by the by, this right here is awesome. If your content here, if this particular blog post is one that you want to remain sticky, that is at the very top and on the front page of your blog or your website, you tick that box there. Otherwise, it will fall in line with the rest of the process. When you add a new blog post, the last one on will drop down. Then the new one will come in on top of it. The next blog post will come in on top of it, and that one will drop down, and so on and so on and so on. With this one being checked, though, the blog post here that has that box will remain on top and on your front page. So that's pretty cool. Then you can select publish. Now also right here you can select edit for the publishing time, and you can either backdate this to last year to give your brand new blog a seasoned feel, or if you want to, you can also post date this. So you're going to be on vacation in Maui for a week. Well, you can always give this you can create the blog post, put down here the dates that you want it to be. So for example, you want this to be a couple of days from now. Then you can click on OK. Then you just click on schedule, and then boom, nobody's going to be the wiser that you are not at your computer doing your blog post like you always are. They're not going to know that you're actually on the beaches of Maui. So that's one way in which you can do that, and your secret's safe with me. Now, if you just really hate this blog post, you don't know what the heck you were thinking, move it to the trash. That's what this is for. You can always come back later, and as I pointed out earlier, remove it from trash and bring it back into play, but that's totally up to you how you want to do that. Now then, if we move down here, you'll see also that depending upon the plugins you have installed will depend on what options you have here. For example, one of the plugins we have is the all-in-one SEO pack. This adds extra meta information to our blog so that the search engine gods will smile upon us with their graciousness and give us more free traffic. So you want to put in your title here, for example, a short description of this blog post and some keywords related to this blog post. I always take these keywords and add them to the tag box right here, then click on add. And if you wanted a new category, you can select this, type in the new category you want. Otherwise, if we want to change this one from Twitter marketing, go ahead and publish this now. Let me go back here and change this because I want to show you that. Click on OK, click on publish, and you'll see that this is going to change to Twitter video tutorials because that was the category that we had chosen. And that's it. There's actually a lot more to this. I mean, you can select this social disable. This takes those little chiclets out of place so you can't share that particular blog post. You can eliminate the comments and the trackbacks. Again, depending upon the plugins you have installed, you've got a multitude of other options you can work with here as well. But this gives you a pretty good idea as to how to add a new post to your blog. Thank you very much for watching this video. Now get out there and start blogging.